Hey guys, my name is Malin Bowles and I'm a director from Nova Scotia, Canada. I first joined Sensi back in 2015, and personally, I'm always the type of person that's always on the go, as much as I never want to be. I do work a full-time job. I'm an automotive mechanic. I know Sensi is here, and then there's automotive mechanic. It's like two sides of my life, two sides of my personality. Um, and having time management skills in place is super critical for my business because if I don't have certain time management skills and business systems in place, I would become super overwhelmed. My customer service would lack, my goals and my numbers would drop, and I would become very overwhelmed. I'm the type of person, if I have way too much on my plate, it becomes very overwhelming. I get decision paralysis on what to even start or begin with. And it just becomes to the point where I would just sit there and just stare at everything that needs to get done, but have anxiety over where to even begin. So many moons ago, not really that many moons ago, back in 2012, my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer. So she went in for treatments and she went in for radiation, chemo, all that fun stuff. And I did go with her. It was definitely a very um, learning curve kind of moment for myself. I've never been in a position where I watched somebody close to me get sick. Um, and I remember every day, well, she kind of taught me how to put a system in place to stay motivated without actually meaning to teach me that, as moms usually do, right? So every single day she would get up, she would make her coffee, she would eat breakfast at like 8 a.m. every day, and then after that she would read the newspaper, and then she'd take the family dog for a walk, and then she'd come back and finally wind down and relax. And I remember asking her one day, I was like, Mom, I was like, shouldn't you be resting and relaxing? I know chemo can be really taxing. And she said, if I stop, it's going to get harder for me to get up, and then I'm just going to let the disease win. So this woman set systems in place to stay motivated. And as small as that sounded, as getting up every day to get a cup of coffee, eat your breakfast, read the paper, and take the dog for a walk, it kept her motivated and kept her going. She was the type that said, if it knocks me down, it's going to be harder to get back up. Um, which is, it's wild to me because I'm like, wow, if somebody who has cancer can do that, then what the heck is wrong with me? So I always let that reflect whenever I'm feeling down, whenever I'm feeling like I am not good enough, or all that fun stuff. I'm like, you know what? The path is in my own hands. So because of this, I have created different oh my goodness, I just blanked on the word, systems that work for me. It took a lot of trial and error and a lot of things that I would try out for a day or two or even a month, and I never stuck to it and I always got frustrated with it. And I kind of clicked on what was going on. So I am naturally an introvert. I also have generalized anxiety disorder, and I found a lot of trainings I watched and listened to about time management and business systems. It was designed for extroverts, so nothing really radiated with my personality. And you're probably thinking, "Wow, Malin, you're an introvert and you're sitting here talking." Honestly, I love to share the information. It is a huge out of my comfort zone to do videos like this. I'm scared all the time, but I also know the importance of leaving the comfort zone. And I know you guys aren't that scary. You're actually like Sensi consultants are the best. They're the most friendly and kindest people in the world and help with that boost of confidence. I am, and for anybody who doesn't know what an introvert is, my cup does not get refilled with hanging out with people. It actually drains. When I'm out in public and talking with people, it is emotionally draining. If I spend a whole day hanging out with people or going somewhere, going out for dinner, seeing people going to parties, I have to spend at least a day the next day just quiet, playing video games, watching TV, reading a book, trapped in my own house. I love my house. My house is my own personal little paradise. So, in moments like that, it is really hard for me to do things like follow-ups and booking parties and having those join conversations because I literally don't have it in my bucket to do so. So, one of the biggest key things I had to do was number one, self-care. I had to come up with a day. So for me, it's Sundays when I could just sit down and I could just breathe it in and take in myself, relax, do my own thing. So those are my Sundays. I don't go anywhere. I don't see anybody. I literally will watch TV, read a book, play video games, do a craft, anything that is in the comfort of my own home. So that way, throughout the week, I can get the things I need to get done. So, being my full time job being an automotive mechanic, luckily I'm not surrounded by a lot of people throughout the day. Luckily, cars don't talk back, which is kind of nice. But when I get home from work, it is really easy for me to fall into what I call the doom scroll, and that's jumping on my phone and scrolling with ill intentions. I'm just scrolling for the sake of reading. So I had to create systems in place to help prevent myself from doing that. One thing I'm really lucky about is my husband is a licensed chef, so he cooks supper most nights. So when I get home, he starts supper. So what I do is I go into my office, I sit down at my desk, and I set a timer for 30 minutes. In that 30 minutes, I strive to complete as many tasks as I can get done within that 30 minutes. I am the type I feel accomplished the more I get done. But I also know that I need to set a limit on my time. When the 30 minutes, I do things like cleaning off my desk. That is number one for me. And cleaning off my desk could be as simple as I have sticky notes everywhere. So, like, I have sticky notes like this that says Google Form, or I have bars of wax with a name on it that says, contact this person and let them know you got this bar of wax. So I clear all that first. I unpack my orders. I fill out my order forms. I do up my team mail. I do up my hostess gifts, all that fun stuff. So that way I am ready and prepared for the next day. If I get everything done, cleared off my desk, all the boxes emptied, everything I need to get done within 30 minutes, say I have 10 minutes left, I start working on tasks for the following day. And I get a nice head start. So that way I'm not feeling overwhelmed. This being said, throughout the week, whenever it's usually around Friday, I'm done everything I need to do for the week. I have done all my scheduled posts. All my customers have their orders. I have done all my follow ups. So now I can actually take the Friday and Saturday to hang out with friends, do my thing, and the Sundays as my lazy down days. So it doesn't become overwhelming. My customer service doesn't get hurt on it. Yeah, also, I am a huge multitasker, so the things I can't do at my desk or the things I can do while on the go are even better because then I have more time for myself to help recharge and refill my batteries. So, things I do on the go, for example, are schedule my VIP and my Facebook posts. I actually carry my agenda with me, and it has a calendar on it for like the whole month. And each day I schedule a post. I write a star if it's for my customers because they shine and then the star is my business. And I have a heart for my team because they're the heart of my business. So as I schedule posts, I draw that symbol into my agenda and I put a little note. So in for my customer side, I might write something like asked to host a party. So maybe I did a post to host a party. And in my team page, I might have did a post like sponsoring. So this way, when I look back at the month, I can see the things that I'm covering and the things I am lacking in. So I need to add it to one of maybe my next training posts. Every time I see something interesting, there's so many pages on Facebook to get content on. The best part about Scentsy is there's so many brains you can pick. You don't have to be original every single day. It's okay to take other people's original content as long as you cite them, which is totally cool. So it helps cover multiple days. I have now gotten my business to a point I now have scheduled posts for a month in advance. Luckily, we know Scentsy LTOs usually launch on a Monday, so I know new things we find out on Thursdays or Fridays prior, and I know to leave those dates open for new things that might be coming. Because these scheduled posts are already done, I now have the opportunity to now private message people. All the other stuff is already done. Honestly, too, I take a lot of selfie posts with me with products. If I'm doing my makeup for like going out with friends or going out to dinner somewhere, I literally make it a goal to take pictures with 3 products before I leave because I'm like, dang, I look good. I'm gonna take photos now so that way the day I'm not having too much of like I'm not feeling very self-confident. I have those photos already saved in my phone that I can use with a scheduled post with me with a certain product. So that is how I help avoid using flyers all the freaking time. Um, I just want to read. Oh, one of the things I definitely wanted to share was I am the most productive in slow months. So like January, February, the other J months, that is when I'm the most productive. I get things done like printing all my labels for my bars, planning out what team mail I want to do for the whole year, print out my cards, my templates, buy my bags, my baubles, my bows, all my fluff, make my samples because in months like September, October, November, it's not just busy season for Scentsy, it's also busy season in the automotive world, especially being in Canada, winter tires. Whew, we ain't even going to talk about that. I feel like I don't even have a life when that happens. So instead of just rolling over in like the busiest month and getting overwhelmed and just going, oh, whatever. Like, no, I want that cash before Christmas. Income disclosure statement, please read it. But I don't want to let those opportunities go to waste. So I prepare myself so everything is set and ready to go during the slow months. Um, and I get all my fluff done that I need to get done. So I'm not focused on doing all that stuff when I'm feeling overwhelmed and busy and I need that downtime. So one of the biggest things too is I want to tell you to find systems that you actually do. This is one of the key trainings I had heard from before. I can't remember who did the training. It was somewhere on the Sensi workstation. But the person said, find systems that you actually do. And that was wild to me because they said it's fine and dandy to say you want to do a live call with your team once a month. But then you go, okay, well, am I going to do it on live or am I going to do it with Zoom? And then you're like, okay, well, everybody's doing it with Zoom, so I'm going to try it with Zoom. And then you stop doing it because you hate using Zoom. um, People are so easy to give up on something within their business systems if they find it's not working for them. Honestly, I say pick systems that actually work for you and that you're going to do. So if you know for sure you know how to use Facebook Live, you do use them, this is your set time during a day, do it. You can post recordings. I found I used to get into this rut when I would post a live video and nobody would tune in or they would complain saying on the team, oh, I'm not available at this time, or I'm not free on Wednesdays, I'm not free at 7 o'clock. And then I was trying to find times that worked for everybody when I forgot to find times that worked for myself as well. Um, what the beauty with live videos is people can still tune into them live, but they can also still tune into them when you're not live because they can just watch the replay, which is perfectly fine. Just comment replay. Um, Another thing I used to do, or I thrive in doing, is team get-togethers and team outings. I have heard from so many people they stop doing them because the same 3 people show up, and then I'm like, but yeah, those 3 people though are showing up every day. I want to do things for them. I found, or people would say that they stopped doing team get togethers because they would say a time, and then people would complain about the time, or the day wouldn't work for people, and then it'd be the same 3 people showing up. But I found when I started accommodating for everybody, those times didn't work for me, so I just stopped doing them, which just ended up hurting my business as well. And honestly, if those same 3 people are showing up every single time, they want to be there. They want that community. They want that connection. They need this as much as I do. Um, so I stopped comparing myself to others and realized, okay, Malin, this works for you. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with giving it your all and giving what you can to offer to others. um, One thing I would really encourage you to do is grab your World Tour notebook, and I want you to fill out 3 things that you need to do off your to-do list to start putting a system in place. These things can be, I'm actually going to peek at my notes because I don't have them memorized. It could be cleaning out your office. I know for myself, there's been times when it's been so hard for me to get started because I had so much on my plate. Um, just something simple as cleaning up my office and figuring out what the heck I have, what the heck I need to do, and what the heck I need to purge and get rid of to not feel overwhelmed. Another thing you can start is you can grab the bag of things that you bought from Michael's, Target, Dollarama, anything with intentions of, I'm going to make this. Do it. Make it. What's it doing sitting there collecting dust, sitting in your office or sitting in a bag? It's doing nothing for you. What about those samples that you spent an hour making a couple months ago? They still sitting there? Did you hand them out? I'm super guilty for that, so I'm not just calling anybody out. I'm calling myself out too. Um, Other things that you can write for to get started is maybe ask that person you've been dying to ask to host a party. Follow up with those 5 people that you sit there and go, oh shoot, I need to message them. Um, Message somebody that you need on your team. You see them all the time and you're like, oh my goodness, they would be so good at what I do. Like they just have the personality for it. They just belong on my team and I want them to be there. I find a lot of things for time management in my systems is jumping off that cliff and doing those things I've been building up on my plate. And then once my plate got emptied a little bit, I had room to fill up on things that I actually wanted on my plate. And it became very relieving, very motivating, and very goal driving. Um, One of the biggest things I utilized was voice messages for saving time, especially for writing out for join, follow, host, by, join, all those the fun staples. And yeah, just wanted to make sure I'm not missing anything from my notes, but also staying within the given time. But yeah, I hope this definitely helps with any daunting feelings you might have. When you're feeling overwhelmed and stressed, is definitely taking the little dives in with the small activities that you need to do. And yeah, I hope you find the systems that you actually do. So I hope you guys have an awesome world tour, and thank you so much for listening.